Swagatam. Sorry, a little bit late today. Sorry, we had some technical problems, but let's do the Mangalacharanam. Today is November 13th, Saturday. The first session, 2:30 to 4, Vyakaranam Bhagaha. So let's start. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Abhiyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittalaya Sada Bhautame Bho Rama Mamuddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattuliyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Onnam Iti Shri Maheshwara Sutrani Ai Un Rulrak A Ong Ai Ouch Ayavarat Lan Nyamanga Nam Jabanj Garadash Jabagaradash Kapha Cha Cha Tha Cha Cha Tav Kapai Shashasar Hal. See Maheshwara Sutrani. Can you see my screen, Karthik? Are we okay? Can you see my screen?
I actually can't see any document, Satish. I see a blue screen, but there is no document open.
Okay, let me try again.
Yeah, now I can see the notes document, class notes.
Okay, good, okay. So we'll continue from last time with the Ajanta Napumsakalinga Prakaranam. We're doing the declensions right now. We are going the Siddhanta Kaumudi order. The Ashtadhyaya says there's no such order as such for doing the Prakriya, for deriving these words, because that's the Ashtadhyaya has a different agenda, the groups are the rules are organized with along to their functions, not with deriving particular words. So this is what we're doing Siddhanta Kaumudi order basically, and taking all the main sutras. As usual, disclaimer is that whatever we say in this class, you should always check with Siddhanta Kaumudi or Kashika or Mahabhashyam, and whatever they say is Pramanam. Whatever I say is not Pramanam. It's only for you to think about and check. So last time we just started with Vari Shabda. Of course, we are doing the Ajanta Prakaranam, because Ajanta means those bases ending in the vowels. So within that, we are doing in the Maheshwara Sutrani order. So So first we did the Pullinga Prakaranam, Strilinga Prakaranam. Now we are doing the Ajanta Napumsalinga Prakaranam. Napumsakalinga Prakaranam. So we did the Akaranta Shabda last week, the Vana Shabda. Now we're doing the Ikaranta this week, which is the Vari Shabda. There are only few words in neuter which end in the Ikaraha, which are nouns. Most of them are adjectives. Anyway, Vari is one of them. So let us start with Vari Shabda. Actually, Karthik has already made the document for us today. It's going to be much easier because we already have everything typed out. So less errors also, hopefully. So, okay, so let's start with Vari. As usual, we bring in the pratyas su, avjas, etc. from the sutram. As you already know, 412. 412 is a sutram, which is, let me see, which is su, avjas, sam, out, etc. So those 21 pratyas are already. Let me start my font today. I'm sorry, we had some technical problems, so I need to start this thing. Okay, all right. So let us look at that. So 412, of course, is the first step for any pratipadikam. We take the pratipadikam and add the supratyaya as vivaksha might be. Vivaksha means what is the intention of the speaker? Where does he want to put this in the sentence? Does he want to be the doer, the object, etc.? Now we have not learned exactly as yet in which meaning should each pratyaya be brought in. We are assuming we kind of know the general meaning that the prathama is the doer, Vitya is the karma, the object, Titya is the the instrument, and so on. But those we'll see in detail later on. Right now we're only deriving these particular forms, how to get these forms correctly. So if you take Vari Shabda, so Vari plus Su or Vari plus I think we already looked at the sutram last time. The sutram is Samo Napumsakat. Samo Napumsakat Luksyat. So this is a general sutram for any pratipadikam which is neuter, Samo Napumsakat. And then I think we also saw this the 7123 Samo Napumsakat. We can also look at the sutra document, which is also thanks to Karthik. So we can look at the sutra document, Samo Napumsakat Luksyat. One thing you should also do is read the Vritya of each sutram. Any new sutram, repeat it many times so it will stay in your memory. So chirasthayi syat, and then also read the vritti. So samor napumsaka. So su and samor is shashti dvivachanam. So for the two of these, look syat. Look is a special kind of elision. Look. Now what is specialty of this elision? Elision means that we're going to see the sutram if we say nalumata angasya. Nalumata angasya sutram. Let's go to the Ashtadhyaya for a second. What does this lu mean? Look syat. So in the first chapter itself, where Panini gives all the paribhashas. Paribhashas means it is a way to interpret. This is a rule which tells you how to interpret other rules. So that's what's called a paribhasha. So it doesn't really give any operation or any define any sanya in that sutram. It only tells you how to interpret other rules. So there we have sutram pratyasya luk shlu lupaha. Pratyasya luk shlu lupaha. So the entire pratyaya takes the luk, shlu or lup elision. And then below that we have sutram, it says nalumata angasya. So pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam. So whenever pratyaya takes lopaha, it leaves a lakshanam behind. Lakshanam means it leaves its mark behind, leaves its characteristics behind. So all operations which could be done based on that pratyaya can still be done after any kind of lopa is done. But there is one condition now, is na lumata angasya, which means lumat. Lumat means if an elision is done with using the term lu. Lu means these three, luk, shlu, lup. Right now we're talking about the luk elision. So when that kind of elision is done, then the anga karyam cannot be done. Any operation which is based on the angam, the base, that cannot be done when you do a luk, shlu or lup elision. So that's why this is, so they're not entirely synonymous. Lopa and luk are not synonymous. Because when lopa is done, you have pratyaya lope, pratyaya kshanam, and all the operations which were to be done by that pratyaya which took lopa can still be done. But with luk, shlu and lup, anga karyam cannot be done. Okay, so right now we are just starting with this prathama, dvitiya, ekavachanam, vari plus su or as the case may be, and then we get the samo napunsakat, and that ends that form. So the su and take the luk elision. So that is the final form, vari. Vari is the final form. Now when we look at the dvivachanam in prathama or dvitiya vibhakti, we get vari plus au or vari plus out. Out, of course, because su, au, just some out. So au is the prathama dvivachanam, and out is the dvitiya dvivachanam, au or out. And here we get the sutram which we saw last time, which is 7119. 7119 sutram which we saw last time, napumsakacha. Napumsakacha 7119. So if you look at 719, is the aung. Aung is the another sanya for the au or out. So the au or out collectively can be referred to as aung. So aung apaha napumsakacha. Anuvritti of she is coming down. So the au and out, this we already saw this before when we did the vana shabdaha or jnana shabdaha. When we see the au and the out, they get replaced with the adesha is she. She is the adesha. And here we saw one technical thing is that when before the she becomes a pratyaya, the talavya shakara is not an it, because the shakvatadhite requires a pratyaya adi shakara. So before it comes and takes the place of the pratyaya and gets this thanivad bhava, this talavya will not get the it sanya. So as such, it's an anekal pratyaya, anekal adesha. Anekal adesha. So anekal shit sarvasya. Anyway, there's only one I'll have to replace right now, so it's okay, because only au is only single letter, so it doesn't matter. What I'm talking about is that any adesha which comes, you have to immediately look at these three rules. Paribhasha rule, which tells you, which part of the sthani to replace. Which part do you want to replace? You replace the entire term, you replace the ending letter of that term. So 1152 told us alon tyasya. Only the ending letter is to be replaced. And then, but then there's 1155, it says anekal chit sarvasya, which is that the entire term is to be replaced if you have an anekal adesha, or if you have the talavya shakara as an it. But right now that doesn't really concern us, because right now we have only the sthani is only a single al, which is au, so there is no choice to replace a single letter. So there is that's what we have. So vari plus she, and then now what happens is that now the because of sthani vad adesha anal vidhau, this adesha will get sthani vad bhava. It'll get the pratyaya sanya. And now we can use 138, Lashakva Tadjite, and remove the and Tasya Lopaha. So only E will remain behind. Anubandha Lope E Karaha. In the meanwhile, now we get a new sutram over here, which is the Ikochi Vibhaktau. Ikochi Vibhaktau. So Iggantasya Klibasya Num Achi Vibhaktau. So when we have Achi Vibhaktau means we have Achi Supi. When we have the Supratyaha with an Ach, Ajadi Supratyaha following, in that case, the Iggantam Angam, the neuter base ending in an Ik. Ik means what? Of course, Ayan Rul so E U Rul. They take the Num Agamaha. The base gets the Num Agamaha. And all the example is covered here itself. So Vari plus Au becomes Vari plus She. And now when you talk about Ajadi or Anekal, Halantam, Haladi, always remove the it letters. They don't count in any of these letter properties of the Adesha. So only we have to remove the it letter first, then see if it is. So that's why we have to really, what we should really do in this document is maybe we should put this 138 as the first sutram, because we do Lashakpatadjite, and then only we can apply this one, we can apply the Ikochi Vibhaktau, Achi Vibhaktau. And then the sutram which you also saw, we've seen before, which is Midachon Kyatparaha. Any Agamaha, we don't know where to put it, because see, when the Pratyaya is coming, we have Jadhikara Pratyaha Parascha. Clearly says any Pratyaya should follow the term to which it is prescribed, so Pratyaha Parascha. But in the case of an Agamaha, we don't know where exactly to put it. So Pratyaha goes Paraha. The Adeshaha we already talked about. We had to look at these three rules, 152 to 55, to determine it's going to replace which part of the sthani. Sthani means is the patient. It is the item being operated on. So that is the sthani. Now, but when we have an Agamaha, we have these two rules, Adyantau Takitau. If the Agama has the Takara as the it, it goes to the beginning. If the Kakara as an it goes to the end. So right now the Agama is Num. So Adya Takara pi Tvena Nasti, Takara it Nasti, Kakara pi it Nasti. But the next sutram, Anantram sutram, is Midachon Tyat Paraha. Midachon Tyat Paraha means says that if you have a Mu as an it in the Agama, it goes after the last ach of the sthani, of the item which is designated to, So I think sthani probably is maybe a bad term to use, because sthani really is for an adesha. Sthani was adesha analpita. So not sthani, but the term which it's going to, that is going to go after the last ach in that term. So now we have the term vari was there. Of course, it has the ending ach is of course the ikaraha. The num comes after that. So this is the sutram 1147. Midachon Tyatparaha. It told us where to put the num agamaha. Put after the last ach of vari, which is the ikaraha. So now we got that. And then, of course, in the num, we remove the it letters by upadesh ajjananasik it. This ukara is an it. And by halantyam, the makara is an it. So we get varini. And finally, of course, we have to make the nattam. Make the nakara adesha in place of nakaraha by our familiar rule. Atkupmang num yavayepi. If you have between the repa, which is the nimittam, and the nakaraha, which is the karyam to be done, vyavadhanam is only by the ikaraha. That is an at. So by 842, we get the nakara desha becomes varini. So that explains the prathamadi vachanam and dvitiyadi vachanam. So varini. When you come to the bahuvachanam, either prathama or dvitiya, as explained last time, is that prathama and dvitiya will have the same form in general for most of the napumsakalinga pratipadikani. So napumsakalinge prathamayaha dvitiyaha rupam samanam syat prayena. Now once in a while you may have an optional form for the dvitiyas, but so far we have not seen any of those. So right now we're going to get the same form. Why does that come about? As I think we also saw last time, because of these rules that we are just using right now, they apply equally. They apply equally here. So we got the samor. The su and are behaving equally. So samor is whatever is happening to su, happening to also. So this 7, 1, 23, 24, 25, they're equally talking about su and So they're coming together. Secondly, the other sutram is the which we saw over here, which is jas and shas are being replaced by the same adesha, which is shihi. So that is why you can see that su and are going through similar same operations by 7123, 24, 25, and by 7120. This just and shas is also equally becoming she. So that is how in the prathama and dvitiya forms will be generally the same. So that is what we have. Okay, so that's why you can take this kind of together, just or shas, whichever it is. So vari plus she, we saw it sutram last time also. We just saw it again right now, which we get just shaso shihi. In place of just or shas, the shashti vivachanam, the adeshaha is shihi. She is the adeshaha. Now here we have, as we discussed previously, is that this is again an anekala adeshaha. Because adesha karana, so sthanivad bhavat purvam talavisa shakarasya itsanya nasti. So when just an adesha is coming in, at that point it doesn't have sthanivad bhava as yet, so it will not really have the itsanya, the talavishakara. So anekal tuvat sarva adesha, so the whole thing being replaced. Now once it comes in as a pratyaya, in place of the pratyaya, then we get sthanivad adesha anal vidhau. It will now have sthanivad bhava. It'll get the sanya of pratyaya. So sthanivad adeshu anal vidhau. So we'll get these sthanivad bhava. And now we can apply 138 and do dashakvatadite and tasya lopaha. Remove the talavishakara, which is a and this is for the pratyaya shas I was talking about. Doing all, I mean, sorry, not shas, excuse me, for the pratyaya she. She came as an adesha for just or shas. Okay. So now this pratyaya, the she takes the, so that's what was done here. I mean, here also I should probably put the lashakvatadite maybe earlier. Let's remove the itsanya first, lashakvatadite. Meanwhile, the she also gets the sanya of sarvanama sthanam. She sarvanama sthanam. She sarvanama sthanam. And that will, now in this case there's actually a choice. Which sutram do we use? Is because we have two rules to make the num agamaha. So this one we 7172 73. First of all, let's look at the 1142. She sarvanama sthanam. She sarvanama sthanam 1142. Okay. She sarvanama sthanam. This pratyaya she gets the sanya sarvanama sthanam. She sarvanama sthanam. Now the numagamaha we have a choice now to do between 7172, which is napumsakasya jhalachaha, and ikochi vibhaktau. So these are two choices we have. When we have the pratyaya she following, we have two choices. So now, well, either one of these can really be used. There's not really much difference because, you're going to get the same result. Vipratishedha means when the conflict is, rupa bheda sityas vipratishedha. When there is a difference in the form, it's going to give it the same form. It's not real much to say because we can probably maybe take ikochi bhaktau because it is a parakaryam, or there are some reasons we can take napun jalacha also. But either case, we get the num agamaha. So here, savanama sthana sanya, so vari num plus e. So here we did lashakutadjite because this pratyaya she now has the she adesha came in. It has sthanivad bhava. It has the pratyaya sanya. So because why do we need that? Because 138 lashakutadjite requires the pratyaya adi lashaku. So now that talavishakara can get the sanya, and we get vari num e. So here in the document we have used 7172. Maybe I'll put in brackets. Could also use 7173. Could also use 7173. 7172, 7173. Ikochi Bhakto can also be used. That conditions also satisfied for that. Okay. So again the same thing. We have to put the numagamaha is midochontyatparaha. Put after the last touch. So we get now varin. Remove the it letters of numagamaha by the upadeshajunanasik it and halantyam. So kevalam nakara eva vishishyate. Only nakara remains behind. We get varin plus e. And now we get the 648, which is sarvanama sthane cha sambuddhau. Sarvanama sthane cha sambuddhau. Sutram we saw before we have seen this sutram. Sarvanama sthane cha sambuddhau. which is the, 648. 648. 648. This is upadhayaha, no upadhayaha dirgha. If you have a angam ending in an akaraha and it's followed by a pratyaya which is sarvanama sthana sanya, it's not a sambuddhi pratyaha, then the upadha becomes dirgha. So it becomes varini. Varini. So 648. This is the same thing we saw in the sutram in the form vanani or jnanani. Same thing here also we get varini. So now we get varini, and so that was 648. The same set of steps which we followed in the Vana Shabda or Jnana Shabda which we did last class. Only thing here, only difference is that you could also use 7123 Ikvachi Vibhakta, because this is an Iggantam Angam. In the case of Jnana or Vana, there was no choice but to use 7172. It becomes Varini. And then finally Varini by 842. 842, the same Nattam. The only Vyavadhanam is the Ikaraha. So that's part of the At Pratyaha. At Pratyahara, I should say. At Pratyaharaha. So you make it Varini.
Satishji,
Yes.
this 132 and 133,
Yes, sir.
that is Upadesha Ajnaskayate and Halantyam?
Yes. That's for the Num Agama, I'm putting that.
For the Num Agama, okay.
Yes, sorry. For the Num, then the Makara and the Ukara. That's what.
Oh.
That's what they put there. Correct. Okay, now we look at the Sambuddhi, Ekavachanam Sambuddhi. So in the Prathama Vibhakti, that is Ekavachanam, that can have a special rupam called Sambuddhi, Ekavachanam Sambuddhi. So this Sambuddhi Sanya was defined, I think, by I think it's 2349, I believe, 2349, Ekavachanam Sambuddhi. So this Ekavachanam of in the Prathama Vibhakti, they can take a special form to use Sambodhane. Sambodhane, if it's used, is called, that Pratyaya gets the name Sambuddhi. So, of course, every Sanya has to have Prayojanam. So because there are some special operations which will be triggered when the Sambuddhi Pratyaya is there. So let's look at that. Now here we have Vari plus 2 Sambuddhi. Of course, by 412 as usual. Now we get Samo Napumsaka, just like we had in the Prathama Vibhakti. So we already did that, and we got Vari. Now we saw the Sutram Nalumata Angasya, which is 1163, Nalumata Angasya. Since we didn't look elision, no more Angakaryam should be allowed. No more Angakaryam should be allowed. So we cannot take recourse to the Pratyaya which went away and do any Angakaryam, Nalumata Angasya. So what Angakaryam is Praptam right now, means what would be applicable? The applicable Angakaryam is the Rasvasya Gunaha. Rasvasya Gunaha is the Angakaryam, which means that Sambuddhau, which is if you have Rasvantam Mangam, which right now we do have, because we have the Vari Shabdaha, and we do have, if we had the Sambuddhi Pratyaya following, then we can do Gunaha. But now we just talked about that Angakaryam cannot be done when you have the look, shlu or look kind of illusion. Okay, so if the one, so now the form should really be only He Vari. But this particular form is in the language itself, if you look at it, there have been usages like He Vare also, He Vare. Now, how do you justify those kinds of usages? Okay, the way it is justified is that the if you look at the sutra document here, what I put in document is Nalumata Angasya, which is at 1163, iti asya anityatvat pakshe sambuddhi nimitto gunaha, which means that it is Nalumata Angasya is not always followed in them. Nalumata Angasya. How do we infer that? The inference is based on the term achi in 7173. Let's look at that for 1 second, and probably won't go into all the details, but we can look at it briefly. How do we infer that Nalumata Angasya is anityam? Okay, so they say by the inclusion of the term achi in Ikvachi Vibhakta, we infer that this is anityam. How do we know that? Well, they're asking, why did Panini have to put achi in Ikvachi Vibhakta? Could he not have just said Iko Vibhakta? Well, then they say, no, that would not have happened, because when you take a term like Varibhyam, then Varibhyam, etc., then you have Numagama there also, if Pani didn't say Achi. But, that doesn't create a problem. Because even if you had a Numagamaha, after, Vari with Vari plus bhyam or vari pratyah, that vari, when it gets is followed by a haladi, sup pratyah, it gets the padasanya by the sutram swadishva sarvanamasthane. Swadishva sarvanamasthane, it gets the padasanya. In padasanya has come that ending nakara will be dropped by 8 to 7. 8 to 7. Nalopa prajvadikantasya. So the achi in the 7173 could not be to stop the numagamaha when when you have the vibhakti like bhyam or bhis or su or whatever sup. So then what is the use of achi then? Okay, then maybe in this when the sambhuti pratyaya follows, there should not be numagamaha. But can we not use again the 8 to 7 and drop that one also? The answer is no, because below 8 to 7, there is a rule which says 8 to 8, na ni sambuddhyoho. Na ni sambuddhyoho. If the numagama were to come in the, when sambuddhi pratyaya follows, that agama would, that then, it will become hevarin. Iti anishtam rupam syat, with the wrong form. So this na ni sambuddhyoho would have stopped 8 to 7. So maybe that is why Panini has put that achi in 7173, so that we should not get the wrong form in sambuddhau. But they say, wait a minute, that should not be the case, because we have the sutram nalumata angasya, telling us anga karyam cannot be done when you have done luk, shlu or lup. Cannot be done. So why does Panini have to put the term achi in ikochi vaktau when he already has told us nalumata angasya? We cannot take recourse of that sambudhi pratyaya which has taken the look elision and bring the numagama. But then this means that the fact that Panini still has gone out of his way and put that achi in iko achi vibhaktau, that is telling us that nalumata angasya iti niyamasya anityatvam dyotayati, nyapayati. Means that it tells us that the nalumata angasya must be anityam. Otherwise, Panini had no need to put achi niku achi vibhaktau, because the only place the problem can come is if the numagama comes in the sambuddhau, when sambuddhi follows. That should not come in the first place, because nalumata angasya already is stopping that. Obviously, Panini thinks that nalumata angasya is anityam karyam, so he's making sure that this iko achi vakto, he says achi. So that means that now there's no way numagama can come. But even if you take the pratyaya lakshanam and allow anga karyam, we still don't have ajadi vibhakti for sure. So the pratyaya sakara which went away was not ajadi. So that is the arguments that are made in order to justify the anityatvam of the nalumata angasya. So maybe we'll put some brief things, based on. So what happens is that I put here briefly in a document here. This is inferred based on the inclusion of the term achi in 7173. So this is what is meant by that, is that the achi could not have been there to stop the num when bhyam or bhis or sup follows, because in those cases we could have used 8 to 7 and removed that nakara at the end, so this will not cause any problem. So then the only justification can be to stop the num when the sambuddhi pratyaya, the sakara follows. So now that, so that's the reason why that became an issue, because of 8 to 8. 8 to 8 is telling us na ni sambuddhyoho. 8 to 8. So that's the place where the nakara cannot be removed by 8 to 7. So Panini must be putting achi to stop that numagamaha. But again, that should already have been stopped by nalumata angasya. So obviously nalumata angasya must be anityam. That is why Panini has to put achi in ikochi vaktau. Bottom line is that in the language we do see these two forms, which is he vare and he vari. So that is why we have said this 1163 is not always followed in the language. So we have an alternate form with this rasvasya gunaha is allowed to operate, and then we get, first we do of course the samonapumsakat as before, but then we also do 73108 based on the fact that pratyalapi pratyalakshanam Nalumatanvasya iti asya anityatvam. So that's how we get the two forms, he vare. Okay. Now when we move on and get vari plus ta, sitya ekavachanam. Now vari, remember vari has a ghi sanya. Let's not forget that. Shesho ghi sakhi. Shesho ghi sakhi, we looked at this one earlier. We say that if you have rasva ikaranta or ukaranta pradipadikam, rasva ikaranta ukaranta pradipadikam, in that which is either not Srilingam, with Srilingam it should not have Nadi Sanya. That is Sheshaha. Then they all get the Ghi Sanya. Shesho Ghi Asati. So Vari has the Ghi Sanya. So now there are two rules coming in, which I think Karthik has put in the document, which is that Vari has Ghi Sanya. So we have to use Vari plus Na. Because here also you could ask, because once the Ta Pratyaya, we remove the it letter by Chutu, the it letter can be removed. And here also you could have got the Ikovachi Vibhaktau, because this is still an Ajadi Vibhakti. So clearly you could have got Ikovachi Vibhaktau over here, but that is a Purva Karyam. That number is, Ikovachi Vibhaktau is 7173. So Viprati Param Karyam. So Paratvat Na Adesho Bhavati, while the Ango Nastriyam is coming in 7.3. So Ango Nastriyam comes in 7.3. On the other hand, Ikovachi Vaktau is in 7173. So this one could have also been used to get the Numma Agamaha, because we certainly do have an Ajadi Vakti. Again, Ajadi means remove the 8 letters first by Chutu. So only Akara remains, and then we can use Ikovachi Vaktau. But then this Ango Nastriyam is Parakaryam, Vipratisha Parankaryam. So therefore, Ango Nastriyam is the one that finally operates, and we get the this Ang is the again a Purva Acharyanam Sanya. So this is a Sanya used by the Purva Acharyas for the same Pratyaya Ta. So Ango Nastriyam is used, and we get the form Varina, and as usual Varina by 842 Nattam. Same thing as before. Now Varibhyam, Varibhis, Vishesha Karyam Nasti, Ruttu Visargo, as you already know, Sasaju Shoruho, Karavasana Visarjaniya, nothing really special, there's no, because this is not Ajadi Vibhakti. So the Ikovachi Vibhakta cannot come here. Of course, we are already done with the Sutram, which is Napumsakasya Jalachaha, that only when Sarvanamasthane Pare, Sarvanamasthane only Shi Sarvanamassthanam. So none of those rules are coming over here. Some of Napumsaka is already done, that's only Su and So this Atra Vishesha Vidhanam Nasti. So Varibhyam, Varibhi. Also one more reminder, this Makara will not become Anuswara because Monuswaraha only Haliparataha. Padantasya Makarasya Anuswara Haliparataha. Nothing is falling right now. So Varibhyam only, Varibhi, Satajushoruhu, Karavasana Visajaniyaha. Now Vari plus Nye. Now here comes this called Vipratishedaha. Vari plus Nye, when we get the Vari is already as the Gi Sanya, as we talked about, Shesho Gi Sakhi, because terms ending in short E or short U get the Gi Sanya when they are not feminine. If they are feminine, when they don't have Nadi Sanya, they get Gi Sanya. Of course, Vari is not feminine at all, so it has the Gi Sanya for sure. And then we have the two rules coming, which is 73111 Ghyajniti, which is what we use in the case of declining Hari and Guru Shabdaha. So Ghyajniti wants to the Guna Adeshaha Praptaha. But by the 7173, Ikovachi Bhakta Num Praptaha. So normally what we have been saying is Vipratishe Parankaryam. So Taya Paribhashaya Gunadesha Eva Bhavet. So Gunadesha only will happen. But we don't want that. Anishtam Rupam Syat. It was the wrong form. Smat Vartikam Rachyate. The Vartikam has been composed, which says that. Let's go to our Sutra document. It says Vriddya Utva Trijvad Bhava Gune Bhyo Num Ura Vipratishedena. So when the Vipratisheda between the Num and any one of these operations, which is Vriddhi, Autva, means the Au Adesha, Trijvad Bhava, something behave like a trich, which we have not done this yet, we're not looking at that, and Guna, Gunebhyaha. So compared to all of these, when there's a conflict with the Num will prevail, and these will have to be set aside. Why was this an issue? Because Purva Vipratishedena, because the Num Agama was 7173, Ikochi Vaktau is a Purva Karyam in the Ashtadhyayi, Purvavartini Stutram. So that is why the Vartikam is required. If it was a later Karyam, you can just use the Vipadishede Parankaryam, and you don't need this Vartikam. If Vipadishede Parankaryam could have been done, you don't need this Vartikam. Sorry, that's 1/4. Vipadishede Parankaryam, it could have been used. But so now this Vartikam is helping us out. So generally speaking, wherever this Vipadishede Parankaryam doesn't work, most you will have something in the either a Vartikam or a Vyakaranam, something to help us out. Right? So this we have this Vartikam. Now, so instead of doing the Guna Adesha by Ghed Niti, which is actually Parankaryam, we are going to do the Num Agama with 7173 based on the Vartikam. So and then this was that's what's the meaning of Purva Pratishedena, which made the earlier rule gets to operate. So Varin plus A, as usual, we have to remove the should put 138 before, because you have to first make sure it's Ajadi Bhakti. So do Lashakvatadhite, and then we will put these others. So then after that we go to Ikochi Bhaktau, Purva Pratishedena, and Numa Agamaha. Miduchvantyasvara, same as before. Within the Numa Agama, as Vasu was saying, you have to do the Upadesha Junanasika It, Halantyam, and then we get Vari Ne, and finally, of course, 842, Satkupanyum Vavayapi, Varne. Okay, now Varibhya, nothing special, only Rutta Visargau, Pasajushoruhu, and Kravasana Visarjaniyaha. Now Vari plus Nyasi, here the same kind of logic. You could have had the Ghed Niti in all the Nit pratyas. Ghed Niti is going to come. Ghed Niti is going to come. It wants to do the guna of the Ikaraha. Here also we will only do the Num Agamaha Ikochi Bhakta Purva Vipati Shedhena. So we get 7-1, same set of rules. Again, we should put 138 before, because to apply the Ikochi Bhakta Ajadi Vipati Syat Parataha, so we have to do the Lashakvatadhite, and in fact we can even then do this one also. Upadesha Nasika It, in the Nyasi Pratyaya, the beginning Nakara is an It Lashak, it's a Kavarga, so this is the Pratyayadi, just an Itsanya, just Tasya Lopaha. Same thing with Upadesha Ajjana Nasika It, Ikara is Itsanya Tasya Lopaha. That Paschad Ikochi Bhaktau Purva Pratishedena, then Viduchvantyasvara, remaining is the same. Numa Agamaha, the Makara and Ukara is Nit by Upadesha Junanasika It, and Halantyam, Vari Naha, Rutta Visargau, and Nattam 842 Nattam. So that's what we have. So this is the thing, when the Gisanya is conflicting when the with the Numa Agamaha. So Gisanya is asking you to Gunaha. Numa Agama is coming. The Numa Agama takes place by Purva Pratishedena. Okay. Now after that we Vari plus Os. Here there is you could have had what? You could have had the eco energy could have been coming in here. So Vari plus Os. But that's 6177. Eco energy is 6177. So we don't have to worry about that, because the Numa Agama is by 7173. 7173. In all these places, of course, eco energy has to also be dealt with. Even when we are doing the Vari plus us or Vari plus, all these plus. But eco energy is an earlier rule to all of these rules, really. All of these means the Numa Agamaha rule, of course, the 7-3, where, the Ghed Niti, all these rules are coming. So when Num is coming in conflict with the eco energy, Num only is going to prevail. That is the point. So Vari plus Os, we just do Numa Agamaha again, become Vari. Okay, Vari plus Nyas in the meanwhile is the same thing as Vari plus Nyasi. Only thing is that they don't have the Ikara as a Nit, so we don't have to, there's no need for 132. We only put 138 over here, and we can get the when we can get the job. That's the only difference between Nyasi and Nyas. Same steps. Only thing we don't need the 132. Now Vari plus Os, as I said, could have used eco energy, but that's the Purva Karyam. So Paratvat Num get the, so later occurrence we can varinoho, and then we can do varinoho minatvam. So that's nothing special here. Now vari plus am. Here again a situation where now the nut agama has praptaha, as well as the num agama has praptaha. Two of them are coming in now. The nut comes by 7154. Rasvanadhyapo nut. Rasvanadhyapo nut. Rasvantangam, which we have the term vari for. It is a rasvantamam. Rasva means ach only. Rasvadiga pluta only for ach. We do have that. But nut is again the earlier rule in the Ashtadhyayi. It's an earlier rule. So normally that nut should have been overruled by the num, ekochi bhaktau. Because by, of course, by the sutram, vipadishede parankaryam. But atra nut ishyate. You want the nut agama. Now what's the big deal? Whether you make num or nut, what's the big difference? In any case, you can, if the num comes, it will come to the angam vari. So become varin. If the nut comes, it will come to the pratyaya am. From vari plus nam. It looks like both are coming to the same thing. So you do num agama to the angam, nut agama pratyaha, madhyavarti nakara bhavedeva. But there's a difference. Difference is that if the nut agama comes, you can apply sutram nami. The nut agama, if it comes, then we can apply sutram nami to do the dirgha of the angam and make it varina. If you make instead num agama, it becomes varin. Now the nami is not following. You have varin plus am. The nakara is belonging to the angam now. Not only that, the angam is no longer ajantam angam. So there is no dirgha possible there also. So you want that nakara to come as an agamaha, adyavayavaha for the pratyaha, not for the angam. So you can apply sutram nami. So that is why it's important that you get the nut agamaha for the pratyaha, not the num for the angam. So that we think we already saw this also a vartikam, which we saw in the sutra document last time. Here he has mentioned the document numachira. So this achira etc. we were doing last time in that place. I think when you did Tisri Chatusri, when we did that time, we saw this vartikam thing. We did that numachira will be nebhyoni here. No, it's not the one. When we did the word num achira tujvad bhavebhyo nut vipratishedena. So when num, as well as some other operations which we saw the word achira, we saw that, and tujvad bhava, which we have not seen. But when one of these three operations they are in conflict with the nut gets the upper hand. And purva vipratishedena, purva vipratishedena, it comes in. So this, by this vartikam now, even the num is now overruled by the nut, purva vipratishedena. I explained to you why that is important. So now we can apply sutram nami. This is by this vartikam. Okay, let's go that here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So nut agma praptaha rasvanadhyapo nut. Ekochi vakto iti num praptaha. The nut comes by purva pratishedhena, by this num achira tujvad bhavebhyo nut purva pratishedhena. So vari plus nam, again adyanta or takitau, goes to beginning of the arms, we get vari plus nam. In the nut agama, again the same thing, upadesh ajunanasika it halantyam anubandha lope nakaraha avashishyate. And now we can apply nami, because when nam follows, then this switches the am pratyaya with the nut agamaha. And the angam it becomes a dirgha adeshaha, comes vari nam, and then vari nam, a usual 842 at kupva nyum yavayepi 842. So this is the, again, so we have seen these two things today. Vipratishedha between the num agamaha and the guna ghel niti. So num prevailed by purva pratishedhena. That was when we had the nit pratyas falling. Now when we had the vipratishedha between the nut and the num, it's actually the nut prevailed, again in purva pratishedhena. And both of those are important to get the correct forms. Get the vartikams are important. Okay, now when we get vari plus ni, saptami, saptami ekutam. Here also there is a gi sambandhi karyam, gi ashita karyam, depending on the gi, which is the au adeshaha, the au adeshaha. So by 73119, 73119, 73119 is the au adeshaha. 73119 achaghe. So the two things will become like when we did in terms of like harau and gurau. In case of harau, the same thing achaghe wants to come here also. But now remember that Vartikam which we just saw today, which said that the vriddhi autva, that's the autva. This is the aukara adeshaha. So for in place of the ni, when that is coming in conflict with the num should be allowed to operate. Vartikam. Before we were using this guna, we had ghe niti gunaha. Achya ghe, we're getting the autvam. In both these cases, the num pururpatishedena. So that's what happens. So here also, as we put in document here, ni would get awade shaha, the angam would get the adda de shaha alone just here, so it become like we did in terms of harau. But instead, the numagamaha is given precedence by pururpatishedena, by the vartikam with the autva ityadi, the autva tujvad bhava gunebhyo num pururpatishedena. So that's what happens, and we get the form va ri ni. And after that, of course, even here we should put the lashak vatadite first. So we want to remove the nakaraha, then only we can get the ajadi vibhakti. So we can do the ikochi vibhaktau. So we get vari ni, and then finally vari ni by 842. So these are these. See, we have these three forms now, because prathama we had vari, then we have varini, then varini. So these are these two forms we had in the prathama. Dvivachanam and Bahuvachanam respectively, we had the form varini and varini. Now in saptami we have varini, both short. It's confusing, isn't it? Because we have the saptami ekvachanam, which is both short ikaras, so varini. Now in the prathama dvitiya dvivachanam we had the form varini, which is one rasa, one dita. In the prathama dvitiya bahuvachanam we had the form varini, which is the dirgha rasva. So it is confusing form. So we have rasva dirgha rasva, rasva rasva. Rasva rasva comes in the saptami ekvachanam. Okay, so that completes then varinoho and varishu, nothing special, the usual adeshapattayoho. This will be harivat, so mudhanyadeshaha. Dadhi shabdaha, next, so that completes the vari shabdaha. There are four words which take a special form, which is ikarant napusalinga pratipadikani. They have a special form, and they are these four words which are given by Sutram 7175. 7175 gives four rules, four chatvari pratipadikani, angani you can say. Asti, dadhi, sakyakshnam anangudattaha. So asti means bone, dadhi of course means curse, sakti means thigh, and akshi means eyes. So these four, they take a special form. When do they take a special form? Titiyadishu. See again, ajadi vibhaktau. So when we have a titiyadi vibhakti, which is ajadi, then they get the anangadeshaha. Otherwise, they'll be like varivat. So dadhi, so asti, dadhi, sakti, akshi will be varivat, except when you have titiyadi vibhakti, which is ajadi. So they will take the anangadeshaha. So that will be the only special thing. So these are the four. Because if you look at the sutras, they will be. But that's going to trigger another operation for us. We'll look at that one. So let's start with dadhi. Let's see how far we can get. So dadhi prathama dvitiya varivat. So dadhi, and we get dadhini, dadhini. Right? When it comes to Titiya Ekvatam, when we have same thing in the Sambuddha, be he dadhi, he dadhe. Because of the Nalumata Angasya iti asya anityatvat, pakshe gunadeshaha. So one point here is that when we compose, we should not do the gunadeshaha. Strictly according to Ashtadhyayi, the correct form without doing any extra reasoning is he vari or he dati or he madhu. Only when we see shishta prayogaha, where there is the guna adesha is being done, then we can justify using the logic of nalumanta angasiti ityasya anityatvat. But while we speak or we compose, we should only use the form he vari, he dati, he madhu, like that. So that's, remember that. Even when we say pakshe gunaha is to justify shishta prayogaha only. Otherwise not. Okay. So now let's start with the dati. With titiya ekvacham, will you add the pratyaya ta? We should do the again here also chutu should be done first because we require ajadi vakti. So chutu pratyadi chavarga or tavarga. It takes the itanya tasya lopaha. So dadi plus a. Now 7175. Now we need, because we have a titiyadi vakti for this titiya itself we have right now. Asti dadi sakyakshana manangudataha. When you have any new sutram, please repeat it many times. Repeat it 5-10 times, so it'll stick in your memory. If you want to memorize anything in this language, the top priority is to memorize Pani Sutras. If you don't want to, it's okay, and refer to them repeatedly. So repeat them. Maybe just repeat them as many times as possible. After that, of course, you have the Vartikam, you have the Vritti. This is the top priority, is to repeat Sutra as many times as you can. So Asti Dadi Sakyakshana Manangudataha. So that's what happens. You get the Ananga Adeshaha. Adeshaha means immediately go to 1152 to 1155, and you get Alon Chasya would normally apply. Alon Chasya. Alon Chasya means it's coming in place of the ending al. In the Ananga Adeshaha, what are the 8 letters? 8 letters Ananga Adeshaha, of course, as the Halancham and Upadesh Ajuna Nastika. It's Anubandha Lopa Annavashishyate. Akara Nakaraha. Samudaya. So it is Anekala Adeshaha. So now what will happen is that you would have had the Anekashit Sarvasya. So the entire Angam of Dadi would have been replaced by An. We don't want that. So we have to use, that's what's the prayojanam of my Panini puts that the ikara of the ng, the kavarga panchama at the end. Nitya. Nitya anekala adesho, nit adesha anekala fi. Antyasya alahasthani bhavati. So that by 1153, we now know that this adesha anang should only take the place of the ending ikara of dadi and not the entire angam. So this 1153 basically comes in and it stops that 1155. They come and said Anekashi Sarvasya, that is stopped at 1153. Jadan plus A. Of course, in the Anand we get Upadeshanana Nasika 8 Halancham. Now comes a new rule 64134. 6-4 is a very important rule which you see in other places also when we decline form like Rajan, etc. Right now, 6, let's go to our document, which says that Alloponaha. Alloponaha. So just refresh your memory that we have this Bhasya Adhikaraha, which starts from 64129, Bhasya Adhikaraha. This sutram is part of that Adhikaraha, which Bhasya, which goes from 64129 to end of 64 is the Bhasya Adhikaraha. What is Bha? We saw previously that Bha is Yachibham. Yachibham. Swadishva Sarvanamasthane Yachibham. So when you have any pratyaya which is Swadi, which of course we have right now, Asarvanamasthane, in the Napumsakalinge, Kevalam, Shi Sarvanamasthana. Only Shi has Sarvanamasthana. Remaining all don't have Sarvanamasthana. And right now we are in the Tritiya Ekvachanam. If the pratyaya is Yakaradi Atva Ajadi, Angam gets the Bhasanya. So we got the Bhasanya. So Bhasanya means it will call the subroutine of Bhasya Adhikaraha. Bhasya Adhikaraha. No, the Bhasya is a subset of the Angasya Adhikaraha. There's a small subtlety involved over here. Look at the vritti, what they have done. The vritti, what they have done is that they said angasya avayavaha an. So this an which belongs to the angam. Let's see. Angavayavo. Angavayavaha. So this an which belongs to the angam. And when the following pratyaya is not a sarvanama sthana pratyaya, and it is either yajadi, means yakaradi or ajadi, of course should be swadi, swadi, which is yakaradi or ajadi, then the akara of the an takes lopaha. One more time. You need an an which is a part of the angam, angavayavaha, part of the angam. That an should be followed by a pratyaya which is swadi, asarvanama sthana pratyaya, and it should be yakaradi or ajadi. When that happens, then the akara of an takes lopaha. An takes lopaha. I'm sorry, I'm in the long place. I should be looking at this one here. Anyway, same thing here. Angavayavo, angavayavaha, asarvanama sthana yajadi swadi paraha, yo an. Tasya akarasya lopaha. So that's what's happening, akar lopaha. So now this is what we have. What do we have right now? We got the anangadesha for dadi. So it became dadhan plus a. We do have this an over here, which is the part of the angam. Forward pratyaya, which is swadi. This swadi is ajadi pratyaya. I mean, this ta, of course, anubandha lope a is the ajadi pratyaya. So all the conditions are satisfied. So this akara of an is going to take lopaha. That the form dadna. Dadna is the form. So 64134. One last time, if we have an an, means akara samudayaha, which is the part of the angam, which is followed by pratyaya, which is swadi, does not have the pratyaya does not have a sarvanama sthana sanya. Pratyaya either yakara or ajadi. So in that case, the akara of an takes lopaha. To refresh your memory one time is this the Sandhi Sutram, Yaronunasiko Nunasiko Va. That Sutram will not apply. Why not, Karthik? Yaronu.
It's in the Padanta only you can apply it?
Yes, only Padanta. Yaronunasike Nunasiko Va. Yaronunasike Nunasiko Va. Yaronunasike Nunasiko Va. So yar can become anunasika. Like when you say Swami Chinmayananda, right? So Chitmaya becomes Chinmaya. At that time, the pratyaya mayat is not yakaradi rajadi. It is a pratyaya, so that angam chit gets the padasanya by swadishva sarvanama sthane. And then you can do Chinmaya because of that. The sutram yaronu nasike nu nasikova. But in our case right now, there is no padasanya for this. This dhaka is not padanta dhakaraha. So it remains dadna. In case you're wondering how come we didn't get any further sandhi rules coming over here, that's the reason. Now the similar thing is going to happen whenever you have any ajadi vakti, tritiyadi, titiya prabhrati ajadi vakti, vakta uparataha, samanam karyam bhavishyati. Similar what will happen there. Next one, dadhi plus nge, dadhi plus ne. So here also what you have, the dadhi will have the, so now here in this case, between the, by the way, what would have happened if you have had, so Karthik, what would have happened otherwise if the sutram was not there? So, dadhi plus a.
Dadhya?
No, what, but dadhi is a Puslinga Pratipadika, right? It also has gi sanya. So again, it would have been vari, but wouldn't it? So,
Dadhina. Yeah, Dadhina.
Dadhina. So, instead of Dadhina, we're getting Dadna. That's what's happening. So that's if this sutram was not there, it would have been vari. But without this sutram is which one? This one which you're talking about is asti dadhi. Asti dadhi sakshakshnam anangudattaha. If this sutram was not there, then dadhi will be varivat. So all this one is doing that when ajadi vivakti comes titiya prabhrati, then it's going to make the anangadesha. The same thing in the next form, which is here. The question Karthik comes here is that, again Gher Niti wants to come. right?
Yeah.
And but see, in all these places, in fact, even in the prior form, think about it. The prior form of Kartik, we would have had the sutram coming ango nastriyam, right? But Dadi
Yeah.
has the ghi sanya. Shesho ghi sakhi, that's not gone. So ghi sanya akshinna vartate. So which it is unimpaired. So that will not go away. So basically, this one is going to, bump out that ghi karya. So that is not going to allow, because this is Vishesh Vidhanam. Specifically, Panini has said, that it should overrule this. So this in place of it overrules the ghi sambandhi karyam. So here dati plus ne, also we get the anangadesha. So and same as before, we should first do 138 lashakvatadite tatpaschad anang and nitya iti sutrena. It becomes the even though it's anekaladesha, replaces the ant ikarasya sthane bhavati, becomes dadan plus a. Again allopo naha becomes dadne. That's the only special thing. So very simple thing is that dadi is declined like vari. So dadi sakti dadi asti dadi sakti and akshi decline like vari, except titiya onwards ajadi vibhakti you have this anangadesha followed by allopo naha. So becomes dadne. Similarly, when the nyasi or nyas, of course, you remove these letters here by lashakvatadjite, upadeshajana nasik, here also lashakvatadjite, here same thing, anangadesha, and nitya in all these places, with anekaladesha. So nit adesha anekalapi, antyasya alasthane bhavati, dadan plus as, remove these letters in the anang, upadesha ajjana nasik, and halantyam. Dadnaha. Only thing, why alloponaha? Of course, here we have to use satajusho, ruho, karavasana visajaniyaha. Jadi plus os, similar thing, comes dadnoho, all the same operations. Here there is no it letter at all. Remember, navibhakto to smaha. That's of course in all these pratyas, whether it is yes or whether it is os, whether it is yes or shas, all these places, navibhakto to smaha. Of course, in Am Pratyaya also, that also Navibhakto to Smaha, stops Halantyam. So doesn't plus knows was same operation, Astidadi Sakti Akshna Udattaha. This Udattaha doesn't concern about this. That is in the Vedic, what Swara it will get. So we are not studying Vedic grammar, so that will not affect us. So we don't have to worry about that. So Dadnoho, similar operations, Dadnoho. Dadi plus Am. Dadi plus am also, remember this nut agamaha. So here vipatisha between the nut and anang. Because nut wants to come, anang wants to come. Anang is parakayam by 7175. So we are fine. But the vatikam that we saw earlier, nut pura vipatisha nut, that vatikam didn't talk about the anang being overruled. It only talked about the num being overruled. Let's go back to the vatikam for a second. We had the Vatikam Nut Pura Rupatishedena. Did not mention Anang in that list. It only talked about, I'm sorry, we had Num, Achira, Sujvad Bhava. Only these three, when they conflict with Nut, then we get the Pura Rupatishedha. Right now we got Anang. So Paratvat Anang Bhavati. So Anang is going to be, there's no question about getting the Vatikam there. So we're going to get the, again, Anangadesha, similar steps, which is the Nitya, followed by Anubandha Lope An, Tatpaschat Allopo Naha. So Anaha, Akarasya Lopaha, we get Dadna. Okay, next rule. When we have Dadi plus Ni, Saptamye Ekvachanam. Saptamye Ekvachanam when you have, then we get this Vibhasha Nishyoho. Vibhasha Nishyoho is Angavayavo, Asarvanama Sthana Yajadi Swadi Paro, Yo An. So same as the prior rule. Everything is the same, but here if you have the Pratyaya Ni or the Pratyaya Shi. Pratyaya Shi. Now how do you know, Kartik, this is long Shi and not short Shi?
One of them is Sarvanamasthana.
Right? So what is saying is that the akara of an. So in that case, the angam will not get bhas sanya at all. What the question I'm asking, Kartik, is that this could have been nishyoho, right? Nishyoho. This is the saptami, saptami divachanam, sorry, divachanam. So where it says that nishyoho parayoho. Now this could be like nadyoho, could be like matyoho. So now you don't know what the pradipadikam is, ni shi athwa ni shi. As Kartik said, when you have the shi pratyaya, the shi sarvanamassthanam. So when sarvanamassthanam follows, angam cannot get bhasanya. Because swadishva sarvanamasthane yachibham. So that's how we know in the sutram nishyoho. This she has to be dirgha ikaraha. Otherwise it will have no use. Because if the what is this sutram doing? Sutram is making the vibhasha for the prior one. 64134 allop anaha was nitya karyam. This one is saying you do vibhasha optionality. But if the angam does not get bhasanya, allopaha na praptaha eva. It is not even applicable. There is no point of doing vibhasha to it. It is not applicable in the first place. So that's how we know this nishyoho has to refer to the pratyaya she and not to the not to the she, nishyoho. Okay. Now, so in this case, why did we not affect it in the she pratyaya then, Kartik? When we have the deep she.
Because we don't have the Anangadesha.
Very good. No, Anangadesha itself. Because, when you do a word like, Naman, later on when we do that, we'll have to use this sutra. We'll become Namani, Namni, because you'll get the vibhasha nishyoho there. At that time, it will be already ending in an. So that time, we'll get the two forms, pakshe allopaha, pakshe lopa bhavaha. But here, we got the Anangadesha, on Tithiyadesha only we got. So this, we don't have a an in the angam when the she was following. So that time we only had the ri became varivat. Okay. Even though nishyoho for the dadhi, for the asti dadhi sakti and akshi, when the she was following, we did not get the anangadesha anna nasti. So tatra anna nasti. Okay. So here we get basically what it says is that akarasya lopo vasyat nishyoho prataha. So this is what the sutra we have to use now. Pratyaya ni follows, we get the same anangadesha asti dadhi sakyakshna anangudattaha. As usual, nitya iti antasya alasthane bhavati. Then actually we should do this again. We should do this first. We should do this one first because that requires ajari pratyaya to be there. So first to lashak vatadite. After that only you can do the Anangadesha. Anang requires ajari pratyaya. Jadhan plus e, and of the anang you have to remove the it letters. Upadesha junanasike tanancham dadni dadani. So dve rupe staha. With two forms. So, because of vibhasha which is done, otherwise we would have had only one form dadni. So, okay, dadi plus sub, dadi shu, nothing special. Adesha pratyayoho. It's not ajari bhakti. So in short, maybe I'll put this that dadi declines like vari, except the instrumental onwards, except titiya prabhrati. Titiya prabhrati, you have to use the titiya prabhrati. Prabhrati means titiya onwards. Titiya prabhrati. 7175. Okay. Ajadi. Titiya prabhrati. Ajado pratyaya pare. Ajado pratyaya pare. Ajado pratyaya pare. Otherwise, no. Pratyaya pare. So in all other places, they can like vari. Okay. Now comes the last one we're going to do today is Dhatu Shabda. Dhatu Shabda, because as I said, we go in the Mahesha Sutra Kramena. So we have a, e, un, We just finished the Ikaranta Shabdaha. Now we're going to do the Rukaranta Shabdaha. So Dhatu Shabdaha, the one thing special is that Dhatu is an, in the middle let's talk about, in the middle let's finish about Madhu also. Let's quickly finish about Madhu Shabdaha. Madhu, same rules as in Vadi. So Madhu uses same rules as in Vadi. Same rules as in Vadi. As those in Vadi. As those required in Vadi. Okay, so same rules. So we'll get Madhu, then Madhuni, Madhuni, and so on and so forth. Same rules. We'll get Ikochi Bhaktau. We'll also get Madhu also as the Ghisanya, Shesho Ghiya Sakhi. Titya Ekvachan will become the Angona Striyam, Madhuna, Madhu Bhyam, Madhu Bhe, then Madhune by using the Ikochi Bhaktau, Madhu Bhyam, Madhu Bhyaha, Madhunaha. Again, same thing, Ikochi Bhaktau, Madhu Bhyam, Madhu Bhyaha, Madhunaha, Madhunoho, Ikochi Bhaktau, Madhuna. Nut agama bhavati purvapatishedhena madhunam. So here also we saw before when the num and the nut clash, the nut comes purvapatishedhena. Then nami to dirgha. Madhunam, madhuni. So here also when we have the conflict between the outvam and the gunaha, num comes with purvapatishedhena. So that ghyanyati achaghehe is overruled by the num, even though it's an earlier rule. Then we get Madhuni, again Madhunoho, Madhushu. Again we get He Madhu, He Madho. He Madho is not to be used by us. It's only to justify Sishta Prayogaha, and that is because Anityatvat. Nanumata Angasiti Anityati Asya Anityatvat. Pakshe Gunaha. So same rules as required for Vadi. So different here is that Dhatu is an adjective. It can go in all three genders in the same meaning. We're going to require only one special rule here. And that rule is saying that Titiyadishu Bhashita Pumsakam Pumvad Galavasya. What is Galavasya? Galavasya is Panini mentions the name of about 10 acharyas in Ashtadhyayi, which is also his greatness. He doesn't take all credit for himself. He gives credit to other people. Like we saw Shakalyasya, Spotanasya, Bharadvajasya, Galavasya. These are all the acharyas which came, before Panini or contemporaries of Panini. So he mentions their name. But what it basically means that's how the Vibhasha comes. It is Va. The Vikalpaha comes in the opinion of Galava Acharya. It becomes the Pumvad. Anyesham Acharyana Mate Pumvad Nabhavati. Anyesham Acharyana Mate Pumvad Nabhavati. Tasmad Vikalpaha. But he also mentions by name as a mark of respect to those acharyas who have formulated these rules. So Galavas here. So because he Pumvad Va, that Va is coming because of that Galavas here. Okay. Now what is the Bhashita Pumsakam? What's Pumsakam? Pumsakam means that if that term can also be used in the masculine Pullinge in the same meaning. It has been described because take the word Madhu. Madhu also is like Madhusudanaha. You know Madhu, right? Now look at these two forms. You have in the Gita Madhusudanaha, right? And second thing you have in the Devi Mahatmyam in the third chapter before the Devi kills Mahishasuraha. She drinks the Madhu. If you watch the Chandi Homa closely, when Devi drinks Madhu, they put the honey in Homakundam. Because Madhu Yavat Pibamyaham, the Devi says. So there Madhu means, honey or liquor or something like that. So the Madhu is used in the masculine, but not in the same meaning. So Madhu will not have this Bhashika Pumsakatvam. Will not have that. So Dhatu on the other hand is straightforward adjective, means one who holds or bears or places, Dhatru. Dhatri, one who nourishes or supports maybe. So that can clearly go in the same meaning in the neuter, in the masculine, same meaning in the neuter. So when you have such a Igantam Pradipadikam, which can be used in the neuter and masculine in the same meaning of, Then this Galavya Acharya says that Titiyadishu, from the ta onwards down, it should be pumvat, should decline like, so vari will decline like hari. Titiya, I mean not vari. A word like, dhatru because vari is not bhashya pumsakam. Vari is a neuter noun. There's no masculine word like vari in the same meaning at all. So we cannot use that. But a word like dhatru, now dhatru, when you have like a word like shuchi, any adjective, shuchi. Shuchi means pure. Shuchi kulam, you can qualify kulam. Shuchihi puman, you can qualify man. You can qualify female. So when titiya adi, when you take shuchi, that shuchi will decline like harivat, even though it's qualifying a neuter noun. So we say so, but this is only in the opinion of Galavacharya. We can say shuchi. Take for example shashti vibhakti, right? Shuchinaha kulasya, shuchehe kulasya. So there are two forms. So titiyadi, in short, if you have, simply you can say roughly speaking adjectives in the neuter, which are iganta, then they will decline optionally like their masculine counterpart. Okay, that's the simple rule. Okay, let's know dhatru qualifies for that. It is an adjective. It is ending in an. So it's going to decline like the masculine dhatu shabdaha, titiyadishu. Let's do this one. So this is the last sutram for today that we are doing. So let's finish this one. So dhatru. Now pratama dvitiya pratamayam dvitiyam vishesha karyam nasti, dhatru plus tuaram. Same rules means same rules varivat, same rules as in vari. Shouldn't say varivat because ikarantarali. Maybe I put like that. Same rules as in vari. Same rules as required in vari. So that's easy for vari. So we got dhatru, of course, samo napumsakas luksyat, dhatrani, which will be napumsakat. You get the shi adeshaha, ikochi bhaktau, and of course 842 atkupam vayapi. So dhatrani. And finally, when you have the just shasoshi, you get dhatruni by
Satishji?
yes.
We will use the Vartikam here, the Ruvarna Nasya Natvam Vachyam, not the Atkupam.
So Atkupam has no, in fact, yes, I'm sorry, you're completely wrong. Not Atkupam, because first of all, the Vyavadhanam Nasti is that there is no Vyavadhanam. Okay, thank you, Karthik. When I make a mistake, please correct me. Is that here there is no Vyavadhanam. We don't use Atkupam because Atkupam only has to be used when there's something intervening between the Repa and the Mudini Shakara and the Nakara. Here we have Avyavahita. So there's no intervention because after the Ru, immediately we have the Nakara. So Karthik is right. First of all, we cannot use Atkupam at all. We have to Rashabhyam known as Samanapade. And there's a Vartikam, Ruvarnat Naschinattam Vachyam. So only even with the Ru precedes, that also is the nimittam for nattam. Yes, thank you. The Vartikam we use. Is Vartikam, is it here? Probably must be coming here. Yeah, here's Vartikam here. Ruvarna Naschinattam Vachyam. Thank you. So when we have Dhatru, we will not use 842. There's no Vyavadhanam. We'll use 841. That too with the Vartikam. Okay. So Dhatru plus me, we have just Shasosh, Shasoshi. We get Dhatru plus the Shi. And then we get the we can get the numagama either by the napumsakasya jhalachaha, ikochi bhakta if possible, and then when we get that, then we get the sarvanamasthani chasam buddha dirgha, all the same steps from dhatruni. So Karthik, did you give here the sambuddhi or no?
I think I missed the Sambuddhi.
Okay, what have you want to do it quickly now? Let's do it. So dhatu plus we get two forms again. We can samo napumsakat. We will get when we do dhatru plus su. When we have su in the sambuddhi, now we'll get plus. I'm sorry, plus. Okay, now we'll get the first form. We just use samo napumsakat. So we'll get he dhatru from. And what's the second form we'll get, Karthik?
We'll get Rasvasya Gunaha.
Rasvasya Gunaha. Is any other rule for that?
Yeah, I think there's one specifically for Vyakaranam.
Yes.
Ni sarvanamastanayo.
Rutoni sarvanamastanayoho. Rutoni sarvanamastanayoho. So we'll get a second form, which is by the guna adeshaha. Because again, we're assuming that the nulamutangasya is anityam, so we have to use 73110 Rutoni sarvanamastanayoho. Because this, because of two of just, but wait a minute, but do we have the, no, this is not right, because where is sarvanamasthanam here? Because only she sarvanamasthanam, right?
Yeah.
So that is the Vyakaranam angam we have. We don't have the Rutoni sarvanamasthanam. I think only Rastasya Gunaha again we have to use, right?
Yeah.
Guna only we have to use to get the same form, He Dhatar. He Dhatar. I'm just checking with this Vaksha is because we don't have the sarvanamasthanam shabda here. Yeah, correct. That's correct. Because in the Napumsakalingam, the only sarvanamasthanam is she, not this pratyaya stu, because only the stu just amount only anupumsakalinga. Sud anupumsakasya. Okay, so correct, not 73110, because sarvanamasthanam is only she over here. So we have to use Raswasya Gunaha only again. So it's basically the same thing as in Vari. So Raswasya Gunaha again, and we get He, and of course, Karavasana Visarjaniyaha. So here we cannot use 73110, so the Su does not have Sarvanamastana Sanya, Napumsakalinge, only she has Sarvanamastana Sanya. So what you're talking about is we're talking about 1142, 43, 1142, 43. So she Sarvanamasthanam, Sud So only Sut Anapumsakasya. Okay, so that's we become He. Second form is He Dhataha. By here we used the 73108 along with, of course, the usual Karavasanayor Visarjaniyaha. Of course, in He Dhatru we only use Samo Napumsakat 123. Okay, so these are two forms. Again, the form He Dhataha should not be used indiscriminately. It's only to justify Shishta Prayagas if they come. Okay, let's continue now. I think no new rules, all the same rules as before. So Dhatru plus, you do Dhatru plus R, okay. In fact, let me put this back here. Okay. I should put this back here, put in the wrong place. Let me take this out and put this right after the Prathamaditya. Okay, I think I missed also one point here. Let's talk about this one. So let me put that back here. Okay, let's talk about go back to the Prathama Bahuvachanam, Karthik. What do you have? Or Prathama Dvitiya. We have just or shas, right? Okay. Just or she. She. So she is Sarvanamastana Sanya, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Now there, what will bring the Guna Adesha?
Rutuangi sarvanamastanayo.
There Rutuangi sarvanamastanayo will come, would have come by 73110, because in the pratyaya she follows. Then we had Guna Adesha could have come Rutuangi sarvanamastanayo. There also we can use the Vartikam, which we saw today, is that when there is a conflict between the Vriddhi, Autva, Tujvadbhava, and Gunebhya. So the Guna, not only the Guna of Ghed Niti, the Guna also, the Rutoni Sarvanamastanayoho, which would have come here, because in Dhatru plus Jas plus Jatu plus Shas, Jas Shato Shihi, Shi Sarvanamasthanam, then Rutoni Sarvanamastanayoho, iti Gunadesha Praptaha. But you get Num Purupatishedena Num Bhavati. So then we get Num, and then we can use the Pudadirika, of course, by Sarvanamastani Chasam Buddha, get the form Dhatru. Finally, the Vartikam under 841. Okay, let's finish this one now. So Dhatru, so without Pumvad Bhavaha. So when Pumvad Bhavaha comes, it will decline like the masculine Dhatru. If when the Pumvad Bhava is not there, use the same rules as in Vari. Remember one thing though, that the Dhatru does not have Gisanya. For Shesho Ghiya Sakhi, Anuvritti of use, Triyaksha, Nadi, and Nitirasvashta, that all that's only for ending in E or U. Right now we don't have, Dhatu is ending in Ru, which is a good news for us. We don't have to worry about that whole thing about the Ghisanya. Because Nitirasvashta, this is Rasva, Ikara, Rasva, Ukara, Anuvritti of U is coming down. So Dhatu Shabdasya Ghisanya Nasteva. We don't have to worry about doing any Viprati with the Gher Niti. And also what happens in the Tritiya Ekavachanam is that Dhatu plus star. Remember when we had Vari plus star, Madhu plus star, we used the Ango Nastiyam. Ango Nastiyam was used because that was a Parakaryam to the Num. And so we got the Na Adesha. But here we'll have to use the Equachi Vipto now. When we do the Equachi Vipto, so both in the Saptami Ekvacham with Achaghe and the Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti Ekvachanam Gher Niti, they don't come apply at all. They don't have to worry about any Ghisambandhi Karyam. So we can just choose Equachi Vipto, make it Dhatru plus Nye. As usual, we should put the 138 before that. Remove the Rashakvatadjite Anubandha Lope A. Equachi Bhaktau Numagamaha Atra Ghisanya Nasti Tasmat Gunaha Na Praptaha Vipratisheda Prashna Eva Nasti. No question of Vipratisheda. So we just used Numagamaha Miduchvanchasparaha Yatha Purum, same as before. In the Num, remove it letters by Upadesha Janunasti, the Halantyam Dhatrane again by the Vartikam under 841 Nattam. Now same thing, Dhatru plus Nyasi or Nas, similar Karyam, no Ghisanya, no Gher Niti, no need of any worry about any Guna Desha, Vipatisheta, the straightforward Numagamaha by Ikochi Bhaktau, and the same old rules. Again, we'll put the 138 first over here. 138, put that there for the Shakvatadjite. And we, in case you have to use 132 in the case only of Nasi, of course, because the Upadesha is Nasika it, Dhatranaha, remove the it letters of the Numagamaha, Dhatranaha, and finally by the Vartikam, Dhatranaha. Dhatru plus Os, same thing. We could have had the, of course, in all many of these cases, we could have had the Ikoanachi. That's the much earlier rule of 6177. So in case overruling that, we get the Ikochi Vaptau, Numagamaha, Dhatu Noho, then Yathapuram, Nattam, Dhatu Noho. Now here what happens is that Dhaturu plus Am, we have again the same situation we had in Vari plus Am. Nud Agamaha Praptaha, that's the Vistvanadyapo Nut. Numagamaha Praptaha by Ikochi Bhaktau, the Nut is actually Purva Karyam, but by the Vartikam Numachira Sujvad Bhavebhyo. Nut, Puru Pratishthe, Nut Pravartate. This is important because we have to use the Sutram Nami to make the Dirgha. Even if you use Num, the Nakara would have come. Wouldn't have got the Dirgha of the Angam. Anga would become Dhatrun then. So we would not have, so then we could not use Nami because Nam is not following. Angam will not be ending in an Ach, but we want that to Dirgha, so we have to be in the Nut Agama by the Vartikam, same as in Vari, and make it Dhatru Nam by the Vartikam finally. So Dhatru plus Ni, again there is no Ghi Sanya over here. We don't have to worry about any of the Ghi Karam Achaghe, is the Outtam Na Praptam. So just straightforward do again as usual, put this one first, make Lashakvatadite Anubandha Lope E Kochi Bhaktau, and then after that Numagamaha, make it Dhatru Ni, and then Vartikam 841 Dhatru Ni. Then Pumvad Bhavaha, when you have Pumvad Bhava, it declines same as the Pullinga Dhatu Shabdaha. Okay, so then we'll have Dhatru Prasad become Dhatra, just equal and achi, nothing else, simple. Again, there's no Gisanya anywhere here. Dhatru plus A, Dhatre. Okay, today's Gita, we didn't do Gita today. Adi Kartre. In Gita comes this form Kartre. In this Chaturthi Vibhakti. Oh, that's Pullingam over there. But since you're doing Pumvad Bhavaha, we can use that example. Brahmanopya adi kartre. So kartre, namaskaraha to you, who are even the primordial creator, even before Brahmati. So Brahmanaha pi adi kartre nameran. So this kartre is a form in Gita. Again, just simply equal and chi, nothing special. But at least you have to have one Gita reference in the day, right? So, of course, in what happens in Dhatuhu, Atik Sutram,
Rutaut.
Rutaut. And below Nyasina Soscha, Rutaut. So when we have the Nyasi or Nyas following, and we have Rukarantamangam is there, Rutaut would have come. Rutaut would have come. Now, what number is that? By the way, why we not do Rutaut when we had in the Napumus, in the Pumud Bhava Bhava Pakshe? Why? What happened there? So, Rutaut could have come there also, maybe, or no?
But I think we say Parakaryam.
Yeah, Parakanyam. Num is Parakanyam, Rutaut. So all these sutrams of Iko and Chi and all this, Pura Purakadesha, all these are Pura come to Num. So Num doesn't have to worry about these, Rutaut. But in Pumvat Bhava also, of course, there is no question of Iko Chi Vaktu, that's when Napumsakalinga. So now Rutaut comes, Urandra Paraha, and then, Ratasya, Samivantasya Lopaha. So same form basically as in Pullinga, nothing special. Same forms in Dhatroho, Iko and Chi, and then Dhaturi Saptami. So this is Chaturthi Ekavachanam, Dhatre. Dhatu is Panchami Athva Shashti Ekavachanam, Dhatroho, Iko and Chi, which is the Saptami, Shashti Saptami Dvivachanam, and Dhatari. What's happening in Dhatari?
Ruto Nisarvanamasthane.
Ruto Nisarvanamasthanayoho. Ruto Nisarvanamasthanayoho. But now wait a minute, what about this Ruto Nisarvanamasthanayoho and the Num? When we had Saptami Eko in Dhatuni, what is happening over there then? Should we talk about Ruto Nisarvanamasthanayoho there also? Dhatu plus Ni when we had, right? Let's talk about when in the Pumad Bhava Bhava Pakshe, right? No, still can we Ruto Nisarvanamasthanayoho? 73110. But remember the Vartikam we have behind us, right? Which is that if Guna is conflicting with Num takes precedence. So here also I think we need the Vartikam. Because when we have Dhatu plus Ni, by 73110 Ruto Ni Sarvanamasthanayoho, Utra Ni Pratyaya Vartate, Guna Adesha Praptaha. So here also I think we should mention the Vartikam with help of Vartikam. So Vartikam will stop. Vartikam will stop 73110. So stop Gunaha of mandated by 73110. 73110. Okay. So this is also important, but because the Vartikam, when Guna and Num conflict, then Num must take with him. In Dhatu plus Ni, we definitely have the Rukarantamangam, Suto Ni Sarvanamasthani, Gunadesha Praptaha, but no Gunaha because, the Vartikam will stop that. Because otherwise 73110 is Parakaryam to Num, okay? So, alright, so Dhatari, but in the Pumvat Bhava, there is no Num, of course, Dhatari, the Kartari. These are the same form as Kartru, Pratibadikam in Pullinga form basically. Dhatre, Dhatru, Dhatro, Dhatre. So this again was happening only because of this last sutram we said the Titya Adishu, we get the Pumvad Bhavaha. When there is a Bhashta Pumustakam Shabda Rupam, which is a form which is in the same meaning used in the masculine and the neuter, it has to be the same meaning, same sense. It has to be Igantam. So you get two forms, that is so we have now completed the Ajanta Napumsalinga Prakaram. So we are going at a pretty fast pace. You can see we already have 162 sutras here. So please try to, I hope all of you are following the examples which are being sent to you every day, at least some of them. So that's why we can afford to go a little bit faster because we're getting the examples every day. As I mentioned to you, I think that, if we don't go at this pace, we'll take maybe more than 10 years to learn Vyakaranam, 10, 15, 20 years. I think that's unrealistic. When the classes are recorded, we can go at this pace. We can get a gist of Vyakaranam in maybe 5, 6 years. Okay, then we can review, we can look back. But otherwise, to record for 10, 15, 20 years doesn't make sense. I think 5, 6 years is a reasonable time to get the basics of Vyakaranam. Then you can study on your own after that. So So I know we are going at a reasonably fast pace, but you've got a lot of examples coming your way. Please study them whenever you have time. Everything is recorded. Everything is archived. You can always come back and refer. Okay, so let's stop here. This is again one more time. This is November 13th, the first class, Vyakaranam class, from 2:30 to 4. And let's do the Mangalacharanam. So, Ramo Rajamanis Tada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhiyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Rama Nasti Parayanam Parasanam Ramasyada Sosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bhora Mama Mudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasanama Tatulyam Ramanama Varanane Shri Ramanama Varanana Onnama Iti. Recording okay, Karthik?
Yes, Satish.